I've got so used to talking about books that I have on my Kindle that I'm forgetting to hold. I have a physical copy I can hold up and show you. And smell, because it smells glorious. And I have sticky notes and sticky tabs, and I can flick through pages and stop. Lots of money, actually. Lots of money. And we just have a bit more of a variety in there. This is all coming out all wrong. Ow. Ow, I'm getting pins and needles. We have, oh god, pins. My feet are going numb. Hi everyone, it's me Catherine, and today I'm bringing you my spoiler-free review for Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. The first book in the Six of Crows duology, but the fourth book that is set in the Grisha world. So, Six of Crows. First things first, do you need to read the Grisha trilogy to read Six of Crows? And the simple answer is no, you don't. This is set years after the events that take place in the Grisha trilogy, and we're in a different part of this world with different characters in a different situation. And although there are some mentions of things that do take place in the Grisha trilogy, if you've not read it, you won't know them, and there's nothing majorly spoilery in it. But it all depends on what kind of reader you are. If, like me, you like to be in on the inside jokes, I guess, if you like to understand references, then maybe you might want to start with the Grisha trilogy, but you absolutely do not have to at all. You can go straight into this. It is completely separate, but there are mentions and things, and little things that you pick up on if you have read the Grisha trilogy, but if that doesn't bother you at all, then you're absolutely fine. So what is Six of Crows? Basically, Six of Crows is about 6 people, teenagers, who are recruited to break into one of the most secure strongholds, probably one of the most secure strongholds in the world. It has never been breached. So our 6 characters embark on this crazy mission to retrieve a hostage. And their hostage, I didn't read the back when I picked this up, and I didn't really watch any reviews. I just heard people say how great this was and what, how they love heist stories. And while this did involve breaking into somewhere, it was essentially a rescue mission, not a heist. I don't know if you can technically heist a person. So that was the only thing when I went into this. I was like, oh, so they're rescuing a person, they're not actually stealing anything, so is this technically a heist? But that's probably nobody actually cares whether it is technically a heist or not. But, it's sort of, it mattered to me. It matters to me. So, apart from that little teensy-weensy tiny little thing that really doesn't matter in the larger picture, I really enjoyed, oh my god, I love Six of Crows. I love this book so much. I actually bought Crooked Kingdom at the same time as I got this, so I could read them one after the other, but as soon as I finished this, rather than jumping straight into Crooked Kingdom, I went through and reread it, and I have just finished my second read through, and I love it, guys. I had to read it again because I couldn't quite collect my thoughts, and I'm still not. They're still in a bit of a jumble, all up in my head, but I'm going to try my best to make this review as coherent and non-rambly as possible, because it is spoiler free. So, Six of Crows, follow these 6 characters who are embarking on this task to rescue somebody, rescue a hostage for money. Now, these characters are teenagers, and usually when I read a YA, it is very easy to forget that they're teenagers because of the things that they're doing and the way that they act and the things that they say. And while at certain points I did forget throughout this, there were reminders that they are just teenagers, like certain things that they did, and there's mention of parents, which is great, and missing parents and wanting to go back home, and I just really appreciated that. The fact that these teenagers are teenagers, and that sounds really stupid, but it's so easy to forget in lots of YA novels that they're only young, that they've barely lived a fifth of a century, they aren't even halfway through their lives yet, and it's so easy to forget in lots of YA, and while at certain points you do forget, there are certain things that are there to remind you that these are kids, and you feel for them, and you love them, and they're all my babies. They're my babies, and I am dreading what's going to happen to them in Crooked Kingdom. Also, one of the things that let the Grisha trilogy down for me was the world building itself. Now, while there was some, I didn't really feel like I knew the world as well as I do in Six of Crows. It was done so much better. I felt like I knew Ketterdam, I knew the barrel, and I think part of that is because this is mainly only takes place in two places. So you spend the whole book in these places and you get to know them. You get to know them so much better than I ever got to know anywhere in Ravka from the Grisha trilogy, and I love that because I could imagine my characters there. I could picture them there, and I had a whole vision in my head. So I really appreciated that more in this. Do I know how Grisha work? No. But again, I've accepted that because it's fine. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm over that now. I'm over it. It's fine because these characters, I love these characters, and we have a more diverse, at least from what I remember, a more diverse cast of characters in this. They're not all from the same place. So we have a Fjerdan, we have a Ravkan, we have a Zemini, we have a Suli, and then we have a couple of characters who I think are from the actual country where a lot of this takes place. And because we have such a wide variety of characters, we have different viewpoints and different perspectives and different ideas on, mainly on Grisha and how Grisha should be treated and things like that, but it just makes it so much more interesting. And these characters, I love them all, flaws and all, because they all have flaws, which is something I really appreciate because it's something you can relate to. I mean, our main character, Kaz Brecker, is a math nerd. There is really no other way to put it. So we have characters who are a bit grey on the morality scale, and we have characters who are good and decent but not to the point that it's really annoying, and we have characters who are just normal people that aren't heroes, they're not villains, they're just people, and I really appreciate that. I say appreciate far too much. Okay, we're going to move down a little bit because my feet are going numb. So I've mentioned the world, I love the characters. Now for the actual storyline. Now, whilst it wasn't technically a heist, I love these sort of plot lines. Usually plot doesn't matter so much to me, but it depends on the story. Like if it's a crime novel, a mystery novel, obviously I'm expecting something great from those. And the same with a heist, even though it technically wasn't a heist, it was just a rescue. I do expect to be on the edge of my seat. I mean, I love this. My nerves hate it, but I love this type of storyline. It keeps me on the edge of my seat. It makes me put it down because I can't read it, but then I have to pick it back up immediately because I have to know what happens. I have to know how it ends. So that, coupled with these amazing characters that I loved, that I fell in love with, just made this one epic read for me, personally. Watching them make stupid decisions, knowing that things could possibly go wrong at any second, that they all could die at any point throughout this, just made this, I won't say a fun time, because no one likes to be on the edge. I don't call that fun, but I like it. I loved it. I loved it so much. The only other thing, aside from it not technically being a heist, is the main character being called Kaz and it being spelt with a K, because my name's Catherine and throughout school my friends, like my really close friends, called me Kaz, and it is just weird saying that name out loud because I'm not used to having my name in books. It was just weird. Like, it was fine. I got used to reading it, but when I'm talking about Kaz out loud, it just feels to me like I'm talking about myself, and it was very strange. Very strange. But I'm sure by the time I'm done with Crooked Kingdom and done with these reviews, saying Kaz out loud will stop sounding weird. Kaz. 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 No, it still feels like I'm saying my own name. Anyway, that is it, guys, for this spoiler-free review. I am so sorry it was a rambling mess. I tried my best, but this is what it is. I love this book so much, and I'm just so scared for Crooked Kingdom. So scared. But that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you've read Six of Crows and what you thought, and I will hopefully see you in another video. Bye! It's so nice and rural out here, and then we've got chuffing GD background. There you go, Catherine. Did you get it? Probably.